Hey guys, I am back today with my no-buy list reflection. Summer has officially begun. It's about to be July next week, which means that we are about to enter the second half of the year. So I thought it was a perfect time to check in on our no-buy list that we created in the beginning of the year and see how it's going, anything that's been helping, and any action plan that I have for the second half of the year. One of the main things that I put down on my list for 2024 was any excess beauty products. So this includes anything from skincare, body care, hair care, to makeup. And if you have been watching my vlogs or just following me around this entire year, you would know that this hasn't really been going well for me. If I had to give myself a grade, I would say B+ if I'm feeling generous, so more like C-. There's not one category that I've been like excelling at. I've been buying quite a bit of makeup, a lot of body care and skincare, but in my defense, all the products that I did buy, I have been using or like used up completely. So I feel less bad about that. There were two things I wanted to implement for this no-buy category. And the first one being not stocking up on any new products and also only buying new products for replacement purposes. So I can only buy a new body lotion if I actually don't have any body lotions left. For the most part, the replacement strategy hasn't really been going well because especially for your skin, like your face, your skin looks different every single day. There's also a lot of different factors like your diet, your hormones, seasonal changes that really affect your skin. So I don't necessarily agree that you can just have one serum and like one cream to last you the entire year. I really feel like it's important to have your core products, like your foundational routine, but you need some flexibility. You need some like additional products to incorporate into your routine depending on how your skin looks and feels that day. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I have my core products that I use every single morning, and depending on what my skin looks like that day, I would use like a different face mask or a different cream or a different moisturizer or like a serum. So even though my entire collection of skincare items might be quite big, there's not one product that's just sitting there without any love and attention and just collecting dust. So that makes me feel a little bit better when I'm introducing a new product to my skincare vanity. And also I do spend a lot of time at home, so that gives me a lot of time to play around and just try out new products. And I do have quite an extensive morning routine, nighttime routine, pamper routine. So those routines all involve quite a bit of products. So I am always trying to find the best product that fits my needs, that are at a really reasonable price point. So I do notice myself going through products pretty frequently. And in terms of any backup products, I do notice that I've been getting more strict with what kind of products I'm going to buy in excess. So before I would buy multiple of the same products, especially if there's like a sale that I can take advantage of. But nowadays I make sure that this product is tried and true, something that I absolutely love and will use, and only buy one or two instead of like 5 like how I used to. I think the same logic applies to makeup because especially for any like base makeup, my skin tone might change over time because of, you know, exposure to sun, and it also depends on the state of my skin. So sometimes I need a more hydrating foundation, or sometimes I can just get by with any concealers. Eyeshadows have always been my biggest weakness, but I don't think I bought any new eyeshadows recently. And because I've been wearing makeup for so long, I think at this point, I really just know what works for me. I know that eyeshadow palettes always look so beautiful and they're always so tempting, but at the end of the day, there's only like 1 or 2 shades that I always go for. So I'm really trying to stay away from eyeshadow palettes as much as possible. And there's also certain brands that I love more than others, so I just try to stick with those brands. So these little changes have definitely been helping me. And trying new products also gives me the opportunity to share with you guys like what's really good, what I think is worth the money. Like my most recent makeup purchases, they were from Dior, that new blush. I have been loving it. I'm also wearing it today. Like when I find a product that's good, I want to share with you guys. Like you guys need to go get it, especially for skincare, because I feel like I have tried quite a few expensive products out there and I am picky enough to know what's really worth it and not. So I like to share with you guys, like for face oils, for instance, Holy Oil from Agent Couture is like the best, hands down the best face oil that I've ever used. And I have used way more expensive ones from brands like La Mer, Fortuna. So I love sharing these little hidden gems with you guys because I really feel like they are worth it. So in complete honesty, I don't think I'll be able to stick to a very strict no buy for beauty products like makeup, skincare, hair care, body care, but you guys can always rely on me for the best product recommendations. All the products that I do recommend and mention in my videos and say they're good, you can trust me on that. The next item I put down on my list was tote bags, and this is honestly easy. I haven't bought any tote bags, but I will say, however, in the beginning of the year, I was so tempted. I really wanted to get some tote bags, especially from Bottega, but because of this no buy list, I really resisted. And it's been like 4 months and I honestly completely forgot about it. So that just shows I wasn't too serious about it. So I feel good about that. Another category I have is perfume. And this, again, it's a very hit or miss category, but I did learn something. Sometimes I get so sucked into the packaging and the branding of like certain brands that I want to have something. Like Celine and Chanel perfumes, for instance, I want to have something from their collection of perfumes because of the bottle, because of the way it looks, and because of, you know, like what it means. And I have learned my lesson from Celine, which is why I still don't own any perfumes from Chanel. And when I say Chanel perfumes, I'm talking about like the square, like the rectangle shape. Those are the only ones that I'm actually interested in because of like the packaging. I honestly just have to go with the flow and wait until I find a perfume that really speaks to me rather than going to like a certain brand and like a section to find something that I like, because that's what I did at Kilian and Celine. I wanted to have something from these brands, so I literally smelled every single one of them and tried to figure out like what I like the most. And when I wear perfume, I want to wear something that makes me feel like me, you know? But the one from Kilian and Celine, they don't really feel like me. I still like them and they are perfect for like a certain scenario and like certain occasion, but they just don't feel like me. And I think that's why I'm not really reaching for them a lot. It's safe to say that they're not my signature scents. And I think it's because I forced myself to find something that I like. So I have learned my lesson and I will not be doing that anymore. But there is an exception. Juliet has a gun, not a perfume. That one I am totally in love with. I use up the entire travel size spray and I just bought another one because I like it so much. I mean, just like the name, it's technically not a perfume, and I personally don't like the full-size bottle. I just don't like the way it looks. And I did really enjoy that travel size spray. I think it was a really good size, very travel friendly, and it's pretty. It's just like a clear bottle. So I did purchase another one of that, and that one, every time I use it, it makes me happy. So that's how I know it was like a good purchase. And I think in my no buy video in the beginning of the year, for perfumes, I mentioned that I won't be committing to like a full-size bottle unless I'm totally in love with it. And clearly I have failed because I got like the full size of Kilian and Celine. So I have learned my lesson there. But for Juliet Has a Gun, I could have easily, you know, committed to like a full-size bottle because I know for a fact that I love that perfume. It's just that I don't like the way it looks. So that was 100% on me, like my personal choice. So I feel a little bit good about this perfume category. Next on the list is souvenirs, and this mainly applies to when I travel to a new city or country, because I was really bad at this all throughout 2023. I couldn't resist that novelty of like seeing something new, something I don't recognize. So I was buying so much like snacks, just a lot of knickknacks every time I traveled, and I didn't want to be wasteful anymore. So I have been really good at this. I mean, in my defense, I haven't really traveled to like any like foreign country a lot this year. So that's definitely been helping. I think in a way, I kind of got it out of my system. So that definitely has been helping me. And I noticed that when I was in Paris in February, because it wasn't my first time in Paris, I wasn't so like mesmerized by like everything and wanted to buy everything. And in terms of snacks, at that point, I knew what I wanted to get. So the main thing I got was those like truffle chips. I only got like 3 or 4 bags, whereas before it would have been like an entire suitcase. So I think there's definitely been quite a bit of improvement there. But I think the true test will be next month, because I am actually going to a new city, a new country. So I'll be encountering a lot of like new things. So we'll see how I feel then. But I feel like I've been kind of keeping it under control. So I feel pretty good about it. So that was everything that I had on my no buy list for 2024. But there is a new strategy that I want to share with you guys, because I feel like this is something that we can do together. It's basically to keep a list of all your impulse buys. So every time you have the urge or like the impulse to want to purchase something, instead of actually purchasing that, what you do is add that to your list. Like whether it's on your phone or a physical list, you just write it down. And at the end of the month, you do this reflection. You look at the list that you have, you review all the items and see what you still want to buy. And then you can go from there. You can buy one as like a treat to yourself or as a reward for sticking it out for a whole month. So this is something new that I've been trying out myself, because there are times when you sleep on an item and the next day you just completely forget about it. So this list, I think, will help you kind of understand your impulses and filter out anything you could have purchased and potentially wasted your money on. So that's everything I have for you guys today. I really hope this was helpful in reflecting on your no-buy list for this year. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video.